Welcome back to Let's Chat. I'm your host, Nikki Luciano. Tonight I'm joined by Missy, Mason, and Ryan. Before we get started tonight, I want to give tonight's topic a little background. As many of you may know, I lost my mom back on January 27th. We lost her to lung cancer. And are we having problems, Mason, already?
No, I just want to change that picture.
Oh, okay.
You have to move.
I'm in the way. So, like I was saying, we lost my mom to lung cancer on January 27th, and I've been kind of trying to work through it all. And that's why I decided to at least touch base on the topic of grieving and the 5 stages of grief. But we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm having Mason check something on my page here and try to fix it. Bear with me.
You can keep going. It is what it is.
It is what it is, he said. That's my tech guy. It is what it is.
In order to change it, I'd have to stop it. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Anybody want to touch base on what they were like feeling and going through after? Oh, my kids called my mother Yaya, and it was a pretty big hit on all of us. So we're all kind of trying to work through it right now. And I know I'm a 62-year-old woman who just lost her mommy, and I know it may seem ridiculous to some of you that, like somebody told me, you're 62, you've had her for 62 years, she lived a full life. What more did you need? Forever sounded good, but what about you guys? What did you go through? What are you going through now? I don't know. This is going to be a spill your guts kind of night. So if you're not into sappy and real emotions, you might want to tune out.
I'm still numb. I haven't gone through any of the process yet. It's not mentally
Okay.
right, but
I've gone through all 50 Shades of Crazy.
I mean, mentally, I've had to hold it in because I had to be there for this person, and I had to be there for that person,
Yes,
and
sir.
then I had to move, and then I had the kids, and I've got.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have the kids.
Which I mean, it's not like they haven't seen me cry before.
Yeah.
I just been too busy to it's always there in the back of my mind, and then as soon as I start having feelings, I'm like, oh, must go bleach the bathroom, So I haven't allowed myself.
Well, the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And I don't know if you're supposed to go in a particular order, but I've never followed the damn rules anyway. So I skipped denial and went right to anger, and I'm holding on to that bitch like a piece of chicken at Oprah's, Anger works for me.
But we were all kind of angry before she passed. So, I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I was angry for the
Not
3
change.
years, 3.5 years after she was diagnosed. But I think that was my denial phase because I was like, she's going to be here forever, But like I said in my obituary that I wrote for my mother, well, not obituary, it was more like for her eulogy. It's human nature to think that your parents are going to be there forever, you take advantage of it and you take it for granted. We all do. Who wakes up and goes, wow, mom's probably going to die within the next week? It's just not a thought that passes in your head in your everyday life. But okay, go on with what you were talking about, Mason.
I was talking.
I know. I kind of bombarded that whole conversation.
I just feel like I was angry a lot, but I was partially angry with just like how sudden everything happened, and then the fact that I missed it by an hour. But then like just angry about like the fact that like thinking about everything that like typical grandkid experiences with their grandparents
Yeah.
that I didn't have. And I know she had like a bajillion grandkids, but she has like 14 grandkids.
No, she doesn't.
10,
She has my
12,
8,
12.
Johnny's 2,
Trinity and Anna.
Marie's 2.
That's
Yeah.
12.
That's
Okay.
12.
12.
So, and then the angry at myself because like I mean, I'm 25. I could have drove to her house at any time. But I was also
Yeah, but it's give and take. My mom was very guilty of you would not ever talk to my mother unless you called her.
The phone was a one-way street with her.
And how many
But we could say that
cookouts?
about the same thing about a lot of our family.
How many cookouts do I have in the summertime, Mason? I'm talking directly to you because you need to get the
A
guilt
lot.
out of your head.
I'm good
I
now.
have on average what
You know,
10, 12 cookouts a year in the
I
summertime.
mean, I think
Mhm.
it's human to like even, no matter how much or how often you would have been there, it would have been just human nature to be like, oh, I could have went a little more, or
Mhm.
I could have done this, I could have done that.
It's
That's
the
could've-
woulda,
human.
coulda, shoulda shit.
Yeah, I should have tried harder. I could have been closer with her if I put in more effort.
But you could have been there every single day and you still would have felt the same way.
My grandma passed away
So-
44 and a half years ago, and I still sit here and think, shit, I never invited her to see my first apartment. I never invited her to dinner. I should have taken her roses, you know?
Mm-hmm. But then, like, I feel guilty that I didn't visit her a lot. But then also, in my head, it sounds stupid, I was protecting her because I'm like, what if I'm carrying a virus that I don't know about?
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a woman who just went through 2 full rounds of chemo sick.
2 full rounds of chemo, 2 full rounds of radiation, and twice she had to go through immunotherapy. And when you're going through immunotherapy and all the other things, you're not supposed to be around anybody that even, has a sniffle because they have a sinus infection,
Our family gets those like 6 times a year.
But that was
so-
3.5 years. Where was she the rest of my life? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, bullshit, or anything like that. I think the biggest thing that I'm mourning is the mother that I never had. And I know that sounds cold, but that's where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
I'm in the cold phase. I'm in the, why weren't you there for me phase?
I mean, I think we feel the same way as a grandma too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we
62 years for me.
Well, yeah, but I
As a
guess she's your
grandma, it's
only
supposed
mom
to
too.
be-
But
Grandma's supposed to be like the fun one that takes you away from the parents and spoils you. And like Tanner's grandma would take on.
Hey, I'm going to freeze you right there, Chica. I don't spoil your kids. I don't take them and do
You
things
don't
with them.
spoil the kids. I would like a lie detector test.
the lie detector determined
How
that
do I
was a
spoil
lie.
your my
All
grandchildren?
the grandchildren, not like spoil them, but you do.
I let them get away with shit.
You treat
that
them
they-
differently than you would have treated us as children.
Oh yeah, I know
Very
that.
true.
I know my kids sit there and they look at me like while I'm dealing with the grandkids, and I'm like, "Come here, by Granny, come here, and they're like, wait a minute, where'd
No,
my
no,
mom
no,
go?
no, no.
Where's that
Mom,
evil
mom.
woman that used to say, "Get in this house right now, or I'm gonna break your freaking neck"?
Go get Mr. Harper.
But it's different because you know what? They go home.
True.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, she wasn't the mother figure for you, but for us, for the grandma, we never had like
We should have had what you do to your grandkids.
we never had what you do for our kids. Dad's mom passed away when I was how old?
You were 2.
Yeah, so, and I don't really remember. I remember little fragments, but none of the other kids ever got to experience what it was like to have a real grandparent.
She was my only living grandparent. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kinda, but yeah.
You know, yeah, you guys did get to experience Yaya and I when we would go and do the volunteer work for the veterans. We'd hold a National POW MIA Recognition Day event every year. Well, we did that for what, 21 years? And
But that
um,
wasn't like grandma things.
no, that
No.
wasn't grandma things.
You know,
She
like
was,
we never had her to take us to the store and be like, "Oh, you want that piece of candy? Go ahead, grab a candy," or "Come spend the night at Yaya's house," or
The last time I visited her house, she gave me a Tootsie Roll.
she
I
gave
ate
me
it.
I ate it. She gave me a bag of Tootsie Roll suckers for the kids.
She gave Desi a Tootsie Roll. I think she knew it was happening. She gave out her candy.
She gave me a vape too. It's still on top of my fridge. I can't get rid of it.
Put it in a
So yeah, I
shadow.
haven't processed anything
Put
yet.
it in a shadow box. Oh yeah, that's
afraid
another
of it
thing with
exploding.
me.
but what is
I use humor to get through it.
Yep.
So I might sound cold-hearted, but it's either I laugh or I cry. I do both too.
what is the whole denial? I don't understand the denial. What are you gonna say? No, she's not dead.
She's not dead. I'm calling her right now. Oh, I'm just kidding. Everybody looked at me like I needed to be locked
No,
up.
no, I already did. I've called her number twice, and it
I
said
mean,
that it was
Tanner's dad passed away
disconnected.
going on 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yep.
And still on the way home from work, he still catches himself to call his dad, like, "How's the weather out there?"
Oh
You
my
know, like,
God, me too.
Yeah, he's still.
Well,
I
not
mean,
Tanner's dad, but
Hey,
my
Myron.
mom.
You had Myron's number.
I'll have one of those days where I'm like, oh my God, I just don't believe everything that's going on in my life. I got to call my mom right now. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Oh, just the other day, I was
that's
out in
really long
Muskego,
distance.
and anytime I'd go out, you know, to like Walmart right there because it was right by her house,
Yeah.
I'd call Yaya to see if she needed anything from the store. Pulling into Walmart, I picked up my phone and I'm like, because I haven't deleted her contact on my phone. I'm like, oh, wait, what am I doing?
She's still listed on my iPhone as one of my emergency contacts.
If
I
she
can't let that go.
If she answers, let me know. Long distance.
But what were the other ones? Okay, denial. I don't understand that one. Bargaining. What are you going to say? I'll give you two of my other relatives to get my mom back.
Hollywood tried that with Betty White. It didn't work. We're still Betty Whiteless.
Depression. I don't do depression. That's for sissies. And acceptance. I mean, I've accepted it. I'm not happy about it. I'm still stuck in that anger phase, and I still feel this need to get revenge on every person that has ever hurt her in my life, you know. But that's, like I said, that's what I tend to hang on to. I'm not your typical Pisces. I have more of an Aries trait.
I'm a tortoise.
Yeah, you're just stubborn.
I don't think I
And then
am.
we have poor Ryan sitting here, my bonus son. He's just sitting here going, Christ, why am I even in this family? He was very supportive throughout the whole thing. He did look like a deer stuck in the headlights when we were at the funeral home. We were in the vestibule between the main outside entrance and the entrance into the funeral home. We were there, and he kind of looked at me, and he was like, he looked like he had the fear of God in him. And then all of a sudden he just goes, how did you say it? Can I
give you a hug now?
give you a hug now? Or there was a lot of ums.
Mhm.
And because I'm not a real huggy type person, and I don't know. I just felt awkward. And I hugged him, but I just don't know. He's new to the family, so I don't know what he's accustomed to. I don't know what offends him or anything like that. So, but it was very nice that he gave me a hug.
I'm a hugger from way back.
Yeah.
I used to be. I used to hug everybody. But I don't know, as my kids got older, I'd go to hug them and they'd look at me like, "Ick, get off me, woman," you know?
I never turned down a hug.
I hug Mason Ryan every time I see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and Mia. And
Well, I'm a
Mo.
smoker, so I don't want to offend anybody with my smoker.
If
Okay,
somebody's
good to
offended
hear.
by that, they shouldn't be in your presence.
Shouldn't be in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
But
That's-
anyways, oops, that's me tapping. Sorry, that's a bad habit.
Ghost!
Ghost.
The TV is falling again.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus, that was
God.
something.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, I just don't know if I'm going to go through all the phases, especially since, like I said, I don't even know what the hell it means by denial.
I think more of like this can't be happening
Yeah.
type of deal. Like this can't be real. Like when we were in the hospital and watching the whole process firsthand,
Mm-hmm.
I would sit there and think like this cannot be real.
Yeah, like
this is so
And I think we went through a lot of the stages of grief, like pre-end.
yeah, I feel even
We're
though
like, this can't be real. Like this is not how it's going to go down. Like this,
I
this
feel like-
cannot be the end.
I stuck onto the denial for so long, even after she passed away and she was laying there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this isn't how this happens for people.
Yeah.
I was like, this can't be normal.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because it happened, like it came on so fast, and it didn't, but it did.
It
was
well,
three
we
and a
had
half
3.5
years in the
years to
making,
prepare for
but
it.
she was kind of sitting at one steady flow for 3.5
yeah, she hit a
years.
plateau.
Yeah.
Then she called a family meeting, and 2 days later, she's
Gone.
But
incoherent
even-
in the hospital.
Yeah, like even in the hospital, like that progressed so fast. Like she literally went from talking to us,
Yep.
to 2 minutes later she can't respond.
She told me, Mom and I, she was like, oh, she asked us, she was like, oh, do you guys hear that?
Yeah, I was there.
She was
for-
like, do you hear the singing?
Mhm.
I was like, oh, dear God.
Yeah,
This is literally like what
the end.
they
Yeah.
say in the movies
Mhm.
that everybody thinks is fake.
I'm going to explain something here. Well, first, let me ask you, Mason, how many, well, no family members, but how many other funerals have you ever been to? How many other people have you lost?
0. I went to
Yeah.
one funeral, but that was to get out of church.
Yeah, when you
That
went
was
to
in
Catholic school.
I didn't know. Don't know.
For most of my kids, this, even some of my older children, it was the first time they had ever been to a funeral. And for me, I'm old hat at this. I mean, I've lost
Everybody
more
but you.
people than I could shake a stick at. What's going on?
Either your cat or your
Either
husband.
Frost or Dad.
We're recording.
But I've been to so many funerals and I've lost so many people in my life. You'd think that I'd be, I don't want to say used to it or comfortable with it, but you'd think I'd be able to deal with it a little better than I did. I went into seclusion. Something wrong?
I got it.
Okay.
Nothing bad.
Okay.
Vinny's ordering a car park.
Lord Jesus, nobody can leave me alone while I'm trying to do the one thing that I like to do.
Only probably Dad.
I went into seclusion. I basically went into my room, closed the door. That's where I could break down. I don't know. It's where I lost my shit. And then in the morning, I'd come out and have to deal with my life and deal with my kids and deal with my husband and my dogs and my cat and business and everything else. And then I had some people saying to me, you're holding up better than I thought you would. That's because you don't know how to read. I don't know.
That's also, I hate when people say that, like, oh, you're holding up so well. Because it's like, that's what I'm letting you see.
Yeah.
I'm letting you see a facade. There's something in my shirt that's stabbing me.
But yeah, I'm
I need you to go a little bit so I'll bring it down.
stuck in anger mode.
Yeah.
And
Neutral.
I think the only thing that's been helping me out is, as a lot of you know, I I see spirits. I can communicate with them. And I have all this ghost hunting equipment around me all the time. And I turn it on at night. Well, sometimes I have it on during the day too. And I've been communicating with my mother. And, people can say, oh, that's not your mom. The dead don't talk to you. That's demons. Well, you know what? They're doing a damn good job of convincing me, and so be it.
This demon's giving me closure.
Yeah.
BRB.
I've had full throttle conversations with my mom, and that's what I believe. And that's what I'm going to stick with. And if people don't like it, well, it's a shame my ass isn't 4 feet wider, so you'd have more to kiss.
Preach.
But, I don't know. What was it like for you, Ryan, as an outsider looking in? Don't look at me like a deer in the headlights. That's what we do around here. We just talk. It's just us.
It was different, I guess. I only met her once before the hospital at a cookout. So
Yeah.
Going into it, my job was just more of like taking care of like you guys. It was like getting chairs or drinks or something, and just kind of being.
Well, I didn't want you to feel like a waiter. at the
No,
restaurant.
but it was more of like just kind of like doing whatever needs to be done so you guys could spend the most time with her before she went. So and then just kind of backing up and letting you guys have that closure.
Yeah.
Like when the priest came in, what was that?
The last rites.
Last
Last
rites.
rites.
I just kind of like went to the back because I was like, well, they all have much more history than I do. So definitely let them get close and say goodbye and be there for that. So it was more of just there and then not there. Just stand back and show
You
He
were
was
up.
there
there,
for
but not there.
moral support.
Yeah.
You know, like if
And to
we
run to the
needed-
vending machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
if we
I was a
needed,
very big
shoulder
vending
and-
machine runner.
Mhm.
Dear God,
I
I
think
racked up
that's-
so many
I
credit
think
card
that's
charges
all
there.
I did most of the night, which was vending machine runs.
Or
Yeah.
like if I'd step out of the room, Ryan would come with, and
Yeah.
just
Or I'd be laying on the floor in the hallway.
that was a nice floor though.
That was an amazing floor.
It was.
I might have to
Um,
go back.
Yeah.
I was
Tonight?
kind of
Yeah.
subconsciously taking in how other people were getting through it. You know what I mean? Their reactions, and like Sam. Sam was like, poor Sam. Sam is Desi's boyfriend. They moved out last summer. But he's never been really, I don't know, communicative with my mother. He said hi and whatever, but he didn't really know her. But there he was in the hospital, and amid all my grief, all my rage and anger and my meltdown, I turn and I look in the corner, and here's Sam. And my heart went out to him so hardcore that day, because he's like in the corner, crowded in a bunch of people, and he's just turning in circles like he didn't know which way to turn. He reminded me of a Walmart rotisserie chicken in the corner. But his face was beet red and the tears were just flowing, and I could see that, it had touched a nerve with him, and he didn't know how to deal with it. He was trying to hold back, but I think it must have struck a nerve with him. Like with a relationship with one of the members of his family, it must have hit home somewhere.
Well, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was his grandma or grandpa. I got a lot going on over here.
Yeah, I see you. You look like a pimp over
think
here
I
with
hacked
2
the
cell
FBI.
phones going.
3.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, 3 cell
Yeah, I'm
phones
watching the
going.
comments too.
Oh, okay, you go.
Business don't stop. He had, I don't want to say a pretty traumatic experience with one of his grandparents passing,
Yeah.
but his grandparent passed in like in-home hospice when he was a kid in his house.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yep. But
don't know what to say
I
about
I
it.
expected my kids to, be crying and dealing with things, but I don't know. I'm just a reader of people, and I like to see how other people are dealing with things, and it all goes in my books. So Was that my cat trying to get in now?
Yeah, I thought it was Dad.
Mhm.
Is
Put
this
the handle
head
up.
stuck in the door?
Handle
Oh.
up. Maybe.
Never mind. The door handle was hitting the gate. I thought I was closing your cat's head in the door.
Like that one video, like when you forget you're a parent and he's like slamming the fridge door. Anyways.
But I don't know. Yeah, so that's basically where we're at, just trying to work our way through these wonderful, wonderful steps of grief. Then I came down with the flu. I was down and out for almost a week.
Down with the sickness.
Yeah, I was down with the sickness. When I can't get out of bed, shit's real. But
It's a typical day off for me.
oh my God, I couldn't take a sip of water without running to the bathroom to barf my guts out. It was terrible. And I could tell that I had a fever. And I don't know. It was just I slept for like 23 hours a day. I thought this was going to be the thing that took me out. I was like, shit, I've been hit by a dump truck. I've been, almost kidnapped twice. I've been kidnapped twice. But it's going to be a flu. I don't know. So what do you think we should do from here? I mean, to help each other out with this whole grieving process, and any advice that you guys want to give to anybody out there if they lost somebody recently, or
Come unpack my house for me so I can cry.
oh yeah, Missy just moved into a townhouse, and she's really getting the place looking nice. But
Slowly.
that
It was
and
a great Valentine's Day.
she's out there pimping them Girl Scout cookies
Oh
for
my
my
God.
granddaughter. They've been doing cookie booths, like 3 cookie booths a day, 7 days a
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
And so that takes her mind off of things a little bit.
You gotta peddle mom's books like that.
Yeah,
I would. Give me
Hey,
some
that'd be a
books.
good idea.
Give me some books. I can't
Sell some of my books that way.
I mean, I have connections. I can stand outside their place of business anytime I want, they said. So
The
Well,
people
that's
today
cool.
said that.
people today and then several of the other booths.
Uh-huh.
So like
So
they
you
have
might
like the
think it was
council
Jets
they have like the
Pizza.
council booths that we're doing with the troop.
Mhm.
And then Delilah's doing her own separate booths too.
Mm.
And like her own separate booths, that's where I go. Like I'm putting in the footwork of going to either these businesses or calling them, and we go and we ask them like, hey, would you mind if we did a little pop-up booth in front of your place for 2 hours?
Yeah.
And usually I have Delilah doing the talking. Like the other night we had 2 booths in one day, and then on the way home Delilah was like, oh, what about that place? Can we do a booth there? So we stopped in because we don't know the neighborhood. We just moved in there. So we don't know what people allow, what people look down on, whatever. And so we stopped in at the Legion post out by us. And it's like a Legion post, and then there's a bar downstairs and whatever.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and the only part that was open was the bar. So you feel kind of weird walking into the bar with your kid. But she sold like 15 boxes that night.
Well, that's why the other day I was telling you it's too bad Wisconsin doesn't have dispensaries where you can, sit outside and get the people that are going in there to buy their stuff.
Garden gummies.
Yeah. Well, Missy was outside of a vape place that sells the weed vapes and stuff like that today.
When we
Well,
went-
technically, it was in front of a pizza place, and next door is the
Yeah.
vape
conveniently next door.
place.
Conveniently, yeah.
And then on the other side is cousin Sub. So
When we went in there, the cashier lady, she was like, those Girl Scouts really know what they're doing selling outside of here.
thank you very much. That was all me.
Yeah.
That was my connection.
Then we told everyone in there that they should buy cookies.
But nobody came out and bought cookies.
No, because they were spending all their money in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
how
not
many
for somebody
boxes
to
has
connect.
Delilah sold thus far to date?
Oh, just under 400.
Damn.
Hey, Zeus.
Where's my calculator?
At $6 a
Well,
box.
some are $7. The
Really?
gluten frees are $7.
It's around 1,600.
Oh, those are so yummy.
What was,
Oh,
her,
you can't even tell the gluten's not
what
there.
was her goal?
1,500
boxes.
boxes.
Oh,
Yeah, this crackhead's never getting there, but
We still have what's
So
today's date?
you still got a lot of
The
time.
12th.
Yeah, so we still have like 19 more days of Boost coming up.
Oh God.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we sell to the end of the month.
So if you want Girl Scout cookies, you're in the
It's-
Wisconsin
No.
area.
Do you have like a flyer with the QR code on it?
I can send you my QR code.
Well, why don't you just post it on
Well, I'm
my
saying-
Facebook page,
Well,
your
yeah.
Facebook
Well, what I'm
page?
saying is send it to me
Uh-huh.
after we're done with the podcast. I can print something up and we can take it to our work.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
that would be a good
Nothing
one.
buys more cookies than drunk people.
Yeah. Mia posted on Snapchat like that 2 minutes. Well, she was there for longer than 2 minutes, but she just took a picture of Delilah and was like, "Oh, girls, out here selling cookies with my sister,"
Yeah.
and she put it on her Snapchat story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she had like 3 of her friends like, "Hey, I want cookies. Well, how long are they going to be there?" And one of her friends showed up just today, and then 2 of her other friends placed orders that I have to go drop off to them tomorrow after our Girl Scout troop meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
So
they can select have them delivered, right?
they can select to have them delivered, but if they're through your work,
I'm saying like customers who I don't know personally, they can get them delivered.
Or we just bring them.
bring them to work, and then you just label the bags, and they
Yeah.
just tell you like, "Hey, we're
So if they order online, will
if they
we
leave their
know?
name, yeah,
Yeah.
We'll know like who bought what.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll have to process the orders.
Oh, okay.
If they choose shipping, the shipping costs almost as